All right, we are now live in the Freedom Initiative Facebook group. I've been going live a lot this week and the past few weeks because, well, there's a lot of awesome people here in this Facebook group, and we all have different kinds of unique value to share, different stories. And today, a bit of a change, I'm actually going to be interviewed. So I'm going to introduce Cadence Ford, and she's going to interview me about my experience going through some of the emotional mastery course, going through some of the emotional mastery program, because Cadence is actually my emotional mastery coach. I think I said emotional mastery like 7 times in the last 1 minute, which is a lot. But Cadence, let's kick it off. Whatever questions you want to ask me, I am the guest for this session. You are the host. Take it away.
Yeah, so I wanted to know, first off, like, what was your motivation for doing the program?
Yeah, so my motivation for going through the program initially was not for my own benefit, where I first came into contact with Jenny Hale because she was interested in building and growing an affiliate program for the emotional mastery course. And I had recently become a very successful and profitable affiliate marketer in the make money online space. And I had been having conversations with a friend of mine named Natasha, who's also very familiar with affiliate marketing, high ticket products. She's actually a really good high ticket sales closer. And we had these conversations about, it'd be really nice to promote something a bit more ethical because a lot of these programs in the make money online space are just garbage. She didn't like closing for them. I didn't like marketing them. And then one day she starts leaving me all these voice messages, super excited. I'm just like, what is it? It's like, I found it. I found it. I found the program. I found the program that we want to promote. I want to do sales calls for them. And possibly, you can promote them as a digital marketer. Like, you gotta meet with Jenny. Like, who's Jenny? What is this all about? So she begins to fill me in on the information about this emotional mastery course program, and it's totally outside my realm of interests, right? Like, I like personal development, I like practical personal development, exercise, meditation is cool too, but like nervous system regulation and deep breathing and yoga, and I just thought it was all a bit woo-woo. But on that first call I had with Natasha and Jenny, um, we just all felt like there's something special here. Like, we all got to find a way to work together. Like, the vibe, the energy was so good. And I could just tell from the way Jenny was talking about the emotional mastery course that it was something that deserves to be introduced to more people. So before I said, yeah, hey, I'm going to help you build this affiliate program, I'm going to help a team of affiliates to promote and market this. Like, we all agree that I have to authentically experience the benefits of the program firsthand. Because if I don't, then well, it's not ethical, it's not authentic, and that's our vibe, that's our mission. And a lot of the programs that were being promoted in the community that I was in before, it was people were promoting these $2,000, $3,000 high ticket programs in the personal development space, but none of them had actually gone through the program. They were promoting the programs based on an hour-long video sales letter. So that's another reason why I felt it was so important for me to go through the program. So again, initially it wasn't of my own interest. It wasn't of me wanting the benefits for myself. It was more like a business undergoing that I had to take on. Like, I have to see what this is all about so that I know if there's something I want to partner with.
Yeah, I remember in our first meeting, I was sort of asking you about it, and you were pretty skeptical, and you kept saying, like, I'm doing this for the advocates, I'm doing this for the affiliates, like, I need to know what this is all about. I need to get the benefits, and also I need to practice what I preach because I want the affiliates to go through the program and get the benefits as well. But the idea of doing it for your own personal development, there was quite a bit of resistance to that. You're like, oh, I don't know, like, oh, just, I do my meditation, but I don't know about all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
um, yeah. But then at a certain point, I remember there was a change a few weeks in.
Hmm.
We'd had a few sessions, and I think we had developed a bit of trust between us.
Yeah, yeah,
And there was you were more willing to start to sort of take action on things. And can you talk a little bit about that shift?
yeah, yeah. That's really good, right? That's funny because those are things I did say. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I said. Like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I meditate sometimes. I feel like I have a pretty good handle on my emotional well-being, and that may be true. But I feel that anyone who feels they have practices in place to just live with less stress and anxiety, like there's always more you could do. Like there's always new things you could try out. There's always a little bit more accountability you can benefit from really sticking to these things. So I think it was two things. I think it was two things that really motivated me to take the program and the course a little bit more seriously. The first one is that you just really cared. When we're having these coaching calls, I felt that wow, like Cadence is really giving this her all, even though there was no monetary exchange, right? Like I'm a client of yours, but I'm not paying you because it's a business relationship, a business transaction. I need to know the benefits of the program. I need to have some awesome takeaways so that I can really support advocates and say, "Hey, I've gone through this. This is something awesome. This is something I got to share." So one is the care, the relationship we began to develop over these sessions. And then two was the scientific based approach to the information. As I was going through the course, as I was watching the videos, but especially for me, it was the video transcripts because I really like to read. I really like visual information, just a little bit more than auditory information. And I was going through these awesome explanations that Jenny has about the nervous system and human evolution and the different phases of development that we all go through from infants to adolescence to adulthood. I was like, wow, this is not woo woo at all. This is really good. And as I'm going through this as a dad, I also saw that a lot of the things that I was learning and reading about from the digital course could instantly be applied for the benefit of my children. Like these things could make me a better dad. So those are the two things that really got me to take it a bit more seriously. Again, it's that like you cared, the relationship, and how practical the information was, how scientific it was. Because even though people hear something like emotions and it sounds so abstract and it might sound woo woo, emotional wellness, emotional well being, emotional mastery, people kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that. But then reading about it, it was so good. Like it made so much sense. Reading the information, understanding how the information leads into the practices and techniques that you were teaching me, and then beginning to implement them, right? And you even saying like, well, what kind of accountability do you need? Like, do you need me to check in with you every day to make sure that you're doing these things? Do you want me to check in once a week on the calls? Just that very personalized approach to the coaching was really good. And it was really simple, right? The emotional first aid, which was really awesome. We can share information about that after the call because it's information available to anyone. There's a mini course. But just sticking to a few of the techniques from that, and the main one that I was doing was just the deep breathing, just being conscious of my breathing, making a choice to breathe deeper, and to not do the regular shallow breathing that most people engage in when they're not conscious of their breath. Um, and again, like deep breathing meditation is something that I've been familiar with for a long time. You know, going to a Buddhist temple, going to Buddhist lectures, going to meditation retreats. But the one thing that was an amazing takeaway from going through the information in the course was how breathing, deep breathing, conscious breathing actually bridges the gap between the experiencing mind and the analytical mind. I was like, wow, that's why breathing is so important. That's why deep conscious breathing is so important. Before that, I was just doing it because people said it was beneficial. For me, reading that part of the information in the course and talking to you about it and like having a coach holding me accountable was an amazing benefit. So I would say that's really when things began to um, really benefit my day-to-day life. When I really began to feel some awesome takeaways was when I understood the benefits of some of the EFA, the emotional first aid practices, and I began to do them on a more regular basis, daily.
Mm. Yeah, it's really important when doing a program like this to know your why for
Hmm.
when things get tough or when you feel like they don't wanna. And you know, having kids and recognizing that, you know, learning these techniques, learning these skills, you know, not only makes you a more patient parent, but it helps you to help your daughters co-regulate and
Hmm.
improve their emotional intelligence. And that's one thing I've heard every parent that I've known that has gone through the program has been like, wow, this is really going to change the way that I parent. This is going to benefit my kids. You know, hopefully they won't have as many of the developmental like mini traumas essentially that just happen, you know, growing up. Or, you know, people with adult kids being like, oh, I wish I'd known this 20 years ago.
Yeah, yes.
um, and also just, yeah, touching on what you were saying about reading the transcripts. That's one of the things I really appreciate about the program is that all of the information is there in multiple different ways. So
Mhm.
there's you can have just the audio, you can have just the transcript, or you can have a video. And so no matter your learning style, there's something to help you connect with the content.
Yeah,
Um,
really good.
yeah.
It's actually, yeah, just touch on this a little bit because like I am a digital marketer, I am a digital business coach, and one thing I am an advocate of, one thing that I highly recommend to a lot of up and coming coaches, if they haven't considered it or they haven't implemented it yet, is the three C's of client success and client delivery. And that is coaching, community, and course. Like there's something for everyone in the delivery of that. And that's another reason why I really value the Emotional Mastery Program because how they're delivering all of that is exactly how I deliver awesome customer experience to my clients. So that's also really good. And it's like some people, they need that accountability. Some people, they're not going to learn on their own. They need the information to be explained to them with a person live. Some people really benefit from that community where if other people are doing these things, if other people are learning these things, then they're going to do it too. Where they really benefit from the proximity to other individuals who are going through a lot of the same things, a lot of the same learnings. And some individuals, they just really benefit from the information. They'll watch the videos, they'll read the information. They don't need the coaching as much, but it's there, right? So this three C's of client success, client delivery, coaching, community, and course, like no matter what kind of person you are, like you're gonna get the benefit, and that's really amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we were talking about you started to implement things,
Right.
there was our relationship, and I even remember you saying like, oh yeah, I made sure that I didn't want to, but I read the transcripts and I'm up to date because I knew we had a session and I
Yeah.
didn't want to let you down. Just that accountability. And then so you started implementing things, and what was that experience? Like, what changed for you in your life when you did start implementing things?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, one thing before we get into that, it's just like the number of positive triggers that we had, where it's like meeting with you once a week, chatting with you in the DMs. It's just like little triggers, like, oh, Cadence is chatting with me, asking me about how my day is going, even if she doesn't ask me about if I'm doing these emotional first aid techniques. Like I know that I should be doing it. Like I'm thinking about it, even if you don't tell me to do it, because it's just like these triggers, right? We do the coaching. We have our next coaching call coming up. I know I'm behind on the week's lesson content. It's like, oh, I better catch up. So also, just like the amount of positive triggers there is really beneficial. And then we also had the group coaching calls as an additional reminder that this is something that I'm working on, that I'm doing. Um, so interestingly enough, the benefits that I really noticed from practicing the emotional mastery techniques on a regular basis, like day to day, I would say I was practicing these things for a week and a half, and I started to notice different things, like different sensory things at first, where of the five senses, like my sense of smell is like pretty bad. It's like my wife might say something, oh, it smells really good out here. It's like, the flowers, like they smell really good. I'm like, I don't smell anything. Like that's what I would say. I don't know what you're talking about. This just smells okay to me. Well, I just started noticing like really fragrant smells, like really nice smells. Like my wife lit a candle downstairs in the living room. It's like, wow, that smells really nice. Like this is a really nice fragrance. And the odd thing about that, it wasn't the first time she lit that candle, right? I've been around this house, that fragrance many times, but something about it, I was like, wow, this is like it smells really nice. Like I never noticed how nice that smells before. And not just the candle, it's just different smells throughout the house. Like my wife was baking cookies. It's just like enjoying the different smells that were around me, and just enjoying like the simpler things, like spending time with my daughters, and playing with them after I decide that it's time to start working, and just being like, wow, this is like, it's really nice. Like I'm just enjoying being here with my daughters, and not thinking about how I should be working, trying to do the marketing for my business. So simple things like that. And yeah, I remember it was like one day I was, at this playground with my daughters and my wife, and it's time to go home. We're packing up, we're walking to the car, and it's usually a stressful time of a day where it's like, all right, park's over, playtime is done, time to get in the car, time to drive back home, get the girls to their nap. It's just an ordeal. But I just remember feeling like as I was walking, wow, this is a really nice day, right? The sun's shining, we're walking in the parking lot. I was just like enjoying the moment when normally I would just be thinking about what's next. So it's just really amazing. And I realized that it was my ability to tap into more of that experiencing mind. I know exactly what it is, right? Like things aren't more fragrant, things don't smell better. Like the moments are not any different than the moments I had been experiencing before. The only difference was that I had been practicing strategies and techniques to be able to experience things more without letting other things come up and get in the way, right? It's like, oh, I'm here now. This is what's going on. Letting myself just indulge in the senses around me, rather than just like, all right, what should I be doing? What should this moment really be like? Just accepting, more than judging. So when I began to feel that, I was like, wow, this is really something, it's really something special, right? This is something that I do want to practice more for my own benefit, and it is something that I want to support the emotional mastery coaches to share with more people out there who can benefit from it.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible. Like it really, there's, I think when people think about, emotional mastery or personal development, they're thinking about these like, huge shifts and changes or like, big, massive life changes. And but your experience shows that it can just be making everyday moments richer and
Mhm.
more joyful, and just having a deeper experience of life, like experiencing life as it is, and accepting the present moment rather than experiencing life through the filter of our own analytical mind, internal monologue, um, but just experiencing what the senses are bringing in. um yeah, and that's incredible. That's what um the spiritual path, or like meditation, like that's what
Yeah,
people are trying to achieve, and they can maybe achieve it on the mat, but not walking along at a park with their family, or like driving or something. So to
right.
be able to just have it throughout the day, and have these practices that you can do anytime, anywhere, on a Zoom call,
Yeah.
while you're driving, like, anytime it's available.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, one
Yeah.
thing I've realized, and that's I feel you can comment on this too, is that as individuals get older, it's more difficult for them to just access that experiencing mind. It's like as we get older, it's just like we're overthinking, we're judging, and as a dad, like I've learned a lot where I just watch my girls who are 3 and 6, and they're so good at just not overthinking. They're so good at being present. They're so good at having a healthy balance between the experiencing mind, um, and the analytical mind. And it's just like, how can I be more like that? I've thought about it before, many times actually. How can I be more like my kids? Just happy-go-lucky, just present. No past, no future, only the present. And the strategies, the very simple strategies of the emotional mastery program, the course, is a way to access some of that, to be more childlike, to be more carefree, to not worry so much about what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday. So that I think is an amazing benefit in itself too, to be more childlike.
And so yeah, when you started, you were quite skeptical. You were willing, but quite skeptical. And then you had this shift and experienced this richness of life, this joy in the little moments, and this more childlike present experience.
Mhm.
What would you say to someone who was maybe thinking about doing the program, but they're a bit skeptical, or they're not sure that it's for them?
Yeah, I would just say, give it a go, give it a try, be willing to find out more. The emotional mastery coaches, every single one of them I met, they're all amazing human beings. They all really care about what they're doing. They all really care about the potential transformations people can have. And that transformation is just simply enjoying more of what life has to offer, more of what life is already bringing to them, but they're so caught up in the hustle and flow of what they feel life should be that they're just not enjoying it as much as they could. And it's hard to do that on your own, which is why it's a coaching program. It is a coaching experience. For anyone who's thinking about getting into the emotional mastery course or program, I would just say, like, talk to the coaches, any one of them, send them a DM, jump on a discovery call with them, because they're here to provide value. I know Jenny also has a variety of free resources, YouTube videos. If you're at all interested, just begin to find out more and consider going further into it. Like the coaching program, the full 16, 17-week program, like that's something that you may consider doing somewhere down the line, but maybe initially you just experience some of the amazing emotional first aid strategies and techniques that are of no cost, right? Just take it one step at a time. I encourage anyone just to find out more, just be curious. And if that curiosity leads to some awesome results just by practicing some simple things, then take the conversation further with some of these emotional mastery coaches about what you can do next.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience today. Thank you for having me on, and for, yeah, being vulnerable and sharing, that part of you and that journey.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much.
No, for sure, for sure. And as my coach, this was not even close to me being vulnerable. As you know, and even though we talked about some simple techniques and strategies that anyone can do to have immediate benefit in their day-to-day lives, there is some deep work that can be done too. And I also did some of that with you, Cadence, to amazing benefit. And the deep work was what really had me skeptical before. But I had some amazing and awesome takeaways, in addition to some of these light little takeaways, like some really amazing sessions, calls where I felt like an immense weight had been lifted off my chest, something I've been carrying around for a long time. So that's something that you can also dive deeper into, if that's something that interests you. And I will say that I didn't go through the entire emotional mastery course. I mean, I did go through the majority of the information, but for the sake of what we're doing, I just wanted to have some strong takeaways, some authentic benefits. I didn't go through the entire course, but from what I did experience, when the time is right, I found enough benefit that I do want to invest in the complete course. Because, well, that's how good it is. Like, I know that there's more work to be done. I know there's more awesome takeaways to be had. And when the time is right, I'm going to go all in for that.
And on that as well, you get lifetime access to the content and to the recordings and the guided practices. And so, even for myself as a coach, there's still, practices that I do regularly and other ones that I may not do for a while. And then, but it's all there, it's all in my toolkit, ready to be used for to come back to. And I did the program before I became a coach. I did the program myself, and initially I struggled to put in the work, do the things, until I got a little benefit. And then I was like, oh, okay, wait, let me go back a few weeks and try these things that I was avoiding and see what benefit I can get from that. And even now I still am reminded to do different practices that kind of come and go out of my like daily or weekly practice. But because this is a toolkit and it's giving people skills and
Yeah.
resources to continue doing the work for the rest of their lives, um, it's very difficult to, in a 4-month period, release all of the emotional material that you've ever held
Wow.
onto in your life.
Yeah.
And so it is a consistent lifelong practice. And this initial program is setting you up for success for the rest of your life.
Wow. That's no small guarantee, but I know it is a real guarantee. And there are clients who have had that benefit, and well, the emotional mastery coaches themselves are also clients, so they can attest to how that is 100% true. Well, I just want to end it here. Thank you, Cadence, for swapping seats with me and being the interviewer. I enjoyed being the guest on this live, and I look forward to the work that we're going to do together moving forward. Everyone
Me
else out
too.
there, drop questions, comments, and we will reply. All right. See you next time. Bye.